VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard
On VSiN.
Welcome aboard. Follow the Money is brought to you by ProfitX, and right now you can compete to become the king of March and win free trips up to $10,000. Download the ProfitX app and use the code VSiNMM. We're live in Vegas for the madness. Siena just had a look at a 3 to cut it to 1 with 25 seconds left, and they missed.
Great look. Wide open look again. Hello, TCU.
67-63, Duke 21.9. Now there's going to be second half drama. Duke was laying 18.5 in the second half. They're up by 15 right now going to the free throw line.
God, it was right there for Siena.
Oh,
what
yeah.
did you say?
58-52.
Was 7?
7.5, I believe, left.
That sequence was big. Missed dunk, offensive rebound. He missed a free throw.
Get the rebound.
Oh, they
See
got the
again.
rebound.
I'd like to see the second half rebounds here. The Duke edge over them.
Missed the front end, and he got his own rebound.
It's Paul. It's 42-31 Duke right now in rebounds. I believe Siena was leading them in rebounds at halftime.
Yep. You nailed it, too, about the fatigue. Because the legs went. They shot so well in the first half. McNamara did a good job. I mean, the shots were there. They just weren't falling. And, yeah, of course he makes it now. So now they're up 6.
Yep. And, it's official. I mean, I think we have some time left. Yeah, there's 9 seconds left. All 5 starters played every single second for Siena.
Really? Incredible. They lay it in. Okay. We're the feed's ahead, so they lay it in. I don't know why. That doesn't do any good. Kid just goes coast to coast here. So with 8 seconds left, they're down 4.
Well, they'll foul, no doubt, again. But, again, leading 15 here, Duke is at that could come down to the second half number again.
All right. Come on, McNeese. Let's go. Vandy up 6 with 6 minutes.
You want him to win outright?
I'd love to see McNeese. Amir Khan's supposed to be there.
Oh.
I haven't seen him. But the aura come out with the boom box. But strange game, right? Up 21-10. And Vandy storms back, take the lead. Vandy goes up double digits. McNeese cut it down to 3. And now it's 6. Vandy 6.5, 150.5 the total. If you think the 12 seed can win, 4-1 on the money line. That prop is already cashed too, by the way. That a 1 seed gets there. A 12 seed gets there with high points.
Right.
So
I did add Vandy to the portfolio today to make it to the Sweet 16 minus 110. Because if they win this game, I said this on Monday, I feared McNeese. But beyond that, I would really like the second round matchup if it was Nebraska or Troy. Nebraska looked great today, and that's going to be such a clear home court edge for the Cornhuskers. Again, if they play on Saturday against Vanderbilt. That place was, even in the post-game audio when they won by 30 today, the crowd was still going crazy. Why? First win ever.
Yeah.
And that was a great handicap when we had Max Hoffmeyer on the show on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he was one of the people on Nebraska, and he said Troy was going to score like 50 points. They scored fewer than 50.
Yep.
In that game.
I thought they had a good season. I thought they were live, and they had the lead early, and I think it was 12-10. But then after the first 10 minutes, blitzkrieg, and that was bad. All she wrote. So Good job by Nebraska.
I'll tell you, the one thing that really it's always going to bother me, the feeds on the TV will be so far behind the actual live game because McNeese just made their second free throw to cut it to 63-60. About 15 seconds ago, Vandy went up 65-60. So I wish it was like more in sync because you're looking at a 5-point game right now with 6 minutes to play, and the dog here is still 4-1. Now something must have happened now, plus 575 on the money line for McNeese to win the game.
Gosh.
Vandy's laying 7.5 in the game. That'll come down to free throws, so I'm not going to get involved there, I don't think.
And now we got our first matchup for Saturday now as Duke survives. Duke will play TCU. We'll get that number shortly.
Yeah, it'll be up probably within a few minutes anyway.
1 by 6.
Well, great effort by Siena. Those kids can talk about this game for the rest of their lives.
Had the lead, 20-1 shot comes in. Lead at the half.
Yep.
What do you make this number? This is a bad performance.
Really bad, and TCU was quite good. TCU was
also they were lucky to beat Florida State, laying 17.5.
I think
another one.
I think Duke's going to come north of 10, and I think TCU is going to be a play.
Yeah, I'm with you.
TCU, I mean,
what happened there? What'd you see in that game?
Which one, TCU?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you this.
The big the big spurt right before halftime.
Yep.
Went up 13. They were great. Then they fell asleep.
They fell asleep. Here's what really impressed me by TCU, though. They fell asleep. They gave up the lead. Ohio State deserves a ton of credit because they hit them with a 14-1 run and they took the lead. But when they took that lead, TCU hit them right back. Like, that could be a knockout blow for some of these teams. And not today with the Horned Frogs. You could be deflated at that point. Woe is me. I can't believe this is happening. They did not hang their heads. Right back at the Buckeyes and hit them back, took the lead again, and they hung on to win. That was a great possession late. Oh, by the way, Ohio State had 4 seconds on the clock to run that play out of the timeout. How'd you come up with a half-court heave?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, considering what the kid from BU did against Navy as well.
Yeah.
That was bad. Defended well, though. Yeah, but I thought you could have got a better shot than that, too.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what this Duke number is going to come. It's going to be higher than 10 because the power rating on Duke is so high. I mean, the odds makers here at Circa.
Well, I know, but these are big injuries here.
I would agree.
I mean, let's see if we get something to pop here.
Circa, Mike Palm was telling us that the power rating on Duke is higher than last year's team, which I can't even wrap my head around.
No, not with these injuries, and not how they're playing now.
Yeah, and here's a side note. I will call BS on this like you wouldn't believe. There was a story today, I think, on ESPN.com where I think it was a couple of scouts came out and said, watch out, Boozer is going to turn into the potential number 1 pick in the draft. Those scouts should be, I like him, he's good. Those scouts need to be fired immediately. You can't possibly watch that kid play along with Darius Acuff and DeBanson and say, I'd take him over those two guys. You're out of your mind. Should be drug tested on the spot. No way, no how. Again, kid's really good. Nothing against him. He might be a really good pro. He's certainly going to be a top 3, top 5 pick probably. In no world is Boozer a higher pick in the draft than Acuff or DeBansa. It's completely outrageous. By the way, I thought this game was going to go the opposite of what we were watching in the first half. Hawaii is now hanging in. It's 44-34.
Where is it? I don't even see it here.
They might be in a break right now.
Yeah, this is awesome. 44-34, almost halftime. This is get up and go. You're right, because I thought this thing was 24-7 out of the chute, and they have responded, and good for them. And after North Dakota State had the lead early, Michigan State's stomping on them now, up 15. So good job by Hawaii to come back and storm back and make this interesting in a high-scoring affair.
And I'll tell you, I mean, the first half is actually in play now for Hawaii as well. For those of you who bet that, and our tickets at 15.5 look much better now than they did 20 minutes ago. The in-play number right now is Arkansas 16.5. That's it. And Arkansas just turned the ball over, I believe, so Hawaii ball out of bounds. They'll have it under 4 timeout here with a chance to cut it below 10 now. And Hawaii's 12-1 on the money line as we speak. I got to check out the shooting numbers from this game because Arkansas got out to such a hot start. They really got me with that first to 10 and the first to 15. But you know what I'm saying? I thought Hawaii, I mean, they were in Vegas for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And the travel for that team was not going back to the islands and then coming back here. My internet's slow, so I can't pull up the stats right now.
Who knows? I mean, look at UMBC. I mean, it was they stuck for 30 hours, whatever it was. Yeah. Stuck on the tarmac and everything, and then people blame that for the loss. But then you had McNeese, who went triple overtime in the semis of their conference tournament. That game got over at 1 a.m. They come out and they played game of the year against Stephen F. Austin. So it's you never know how that's going to work.
North Carolina and VSU tips off at 6:50 Eastern time. Torvik makes it 4. Haslam 5.5. Greg Peterson makes it 4.5. North Carolina sitting at 2.5. That's been pretty rock solid pretty much the entire week. Over the last 4 NCAA tournaments, the ACC 37-20 straight up and ATS. Duke did not cover today, obviously, so knock it down 37-21.
I like this team, and I love the fact that they've been in March Madness for a couple months. They came out of nowhere where they weren't even on the bubble, and then they closed so strong, and then they win the A-10 tournament, beat South Florida 26-7. Solid defense. 5 straight games have gone under, and during this 16-1 run to close the season, the only loss was at St. Louis in a game they led, and then St. Louis opened it up and hit them in the second half. So they're a regular regular in March. Great program, and we'll see if they can grab some boards on the offensive, get some putbacks, get to the free throw line, do something on the glass, and maybe lock down North Carolina, as we've said many times, a different team away from home. So they're getting a lot of respect with the point spread, but I'm rooting for them and hope they can get the win. But I really like the fact that they've been playing in like this win-or-go-home scenario because you couldn't slip up. Any loss and they were out. Weren't getting, how that looked. Because, again, they had to win that game Sunday, which was, to me, asinine. The committee wasn't going to put them in, but they beat Dayton. So, good Dayton team. Beat them twice in the last 2 weeks. Only lost at St. Louis. Good resume, good body of work, and a great close. And that's what I like. And I agree with Dallin Cuff that, to me, is very important. And it needs to be, why they removed that is criteria from the committee.
That should be a big deal.
Oh, absolutely. Last 10 is huge. So, McNeese just missed a dunk. Come on.
Yeah.
What's going on with the missed dunks?
I will point out, you know what? I got an observation on Duke Siena that I'll get to in about 5 minutes here, Pauly.
Okay.
It has to do with the total and what happened today.
Follow the money brought to you by Profit X. March Madness has got a lot more interesting. Profit X running the King of March, where you can win free trips worth up to $10,000 just by betting the tournament. Win 10 pregame spreads or totals across the 67 games and hit your volume goal. 1,000 in volume, you're in for the 5K trip. 10,000, you're in for the 10K trip. Flights, hotels, wherever you want to go. Profit X covers it. Download the app. Use code VSiNMM and start winning King of March only on Profit X. Get the app. VSiNMM is your code.
We'll have a Duke TCU number posted, and we'll dive into the night session as well. The special basketball system started 3-1 to the opening number. 3 games in the late session come into play. I'll tell you about those coming up next.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Man, this Arkansas team is ridiculous. Now the lead's 18, and they had back-to-back highlight reel dunks. I thought that alley-oop they just had to Richmond was unbelievable. The one before that was phenomenal. Oh, my God, the athletes on this team, they absolutely jump out of the gym. They're so good. Up by 18 all of a sudden. That was a 10-2 run before you could blink? And there's a horrible 3. Oh, my God, and he hit it by Hawaii.
This is your both teams score 80, a big one. Was he out of bounds?
I think they said he was out of bounds.
That's good, yeah. Those props are up every game. Will Hill and Caesars, both teams to score 35 each half, 40 each half, 80 for the game, 75 for the game.
Look at this
90.
dunk ball.
And this one, wow, it's a monster. Get out of my way. So this one, this one could pay out big if you get both teams to score 80 or 90. But this could be 110 for Arkansas, the way they're going.
And now the point spread comes into play with Vandy and McNeese.
Keep missing bunnies.
Vandy by 10. McNeese has not scored a field goal, I believe, in the last 6 minutes. And we are now under 90 to play.
Throw a game at me that you think will be high scoring. Like BYU?
Okay,
Aaron
sure.
Moore's going to make a case for the over. Each team to score 100 is 40-1. Each team to score 45 points in each half is 60-1. Each team to score 40 points in each half is 9-1. Each team to score 90 points is plus 850. Each team to score 80 is plus 180. Each team to score 35 points in each half is plus 180.
Give me
and it's a big total.
Georgia St. Louis could go to the moon.
Yes, that's true. Yep.
I also think like the Purdue team total, I'd like to maybe look at going, climbing the ladder with that. First half and for the game.
50 points each half, each team 100-1.
What, it's Purdue? Or I'm sorry.
This is St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah.
Each team to score 45 points in each half, 20-1. 95 points each team, 8-1. 100 points each team, 17-1. Each team 90 points plus 375. 85 plus 180. 80 is $1.20 or minus 125.
Okay. All right, so Vandy, let's do this here. 20 seconds on the shot clock, a minute 10 to go in the game. Vandy with a lead by 10. Oh, boy. Here you go with the point spread. Let's see if McNeese decides to foul it all. And they do right there. They were trying to trap Purdue, and they were called for a foul.
I was going to say there are multiple sports books that offer anytime your team goes up 10, you win and cash out.
Oh.
You got to bet on the money line. So you had that right away with TCU. I think it's FanDuel, Bet365. Several books are running that promo. Once you go up 10, if you bet money line, your ticket's a winner.
They counted that 3 for Hawaii at halftime, by the way.
Oh, they did?
So it's 54-39. They said he was not out of bounds. Okay, so Vandy was 11.5 for the opener and for most of the week again. They closed at most books at 12.5. Free throw good. They now lead by 11. So this, now that the second one is good as well, they lead by a dozen. Let's see if McNeese can finally score here. Or Vandy's going to eventually, I think they'll probably foul one more time, McNeese, regardless if they score or not. Oh, man. If you're hanging on to a McNeese ticket, you've had the right side pretty much the entire game. The whole game, in fact.
Well, you won your bet if you did that, what I just mentioned, because they led by 11. They would have paid you out.
Crazy.
Yep. Yeah, I know. They were game. I thought they looked like the better team the first 10 minutes.
Agreed.
They were athletic. They were aggressive. They were attacking the rim, knocking down threes. But then Vandy stormed back. Get in there. There you go.
Yeah, they hit a 3.
All right, down 9.
Okay, so I do have a number on Duke and TCU.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at FanDuel right now. Pretty much what I expected. Duke's 10.5, now minus 120 in the game.
12.5 at DK.
Is that right? I would take 12.5.
Yes.
With TCU.
Yes.
Total's now 138.5. Here's what happened today in that game. The Duke first half total against Siena was bet down to like 64. It went over. It was high scoring first half. Siena couldn't miss. Right? What'd they have? 77 combined points? The total in that game closed at either 137.5 or 138.5. You were looking at an absolute over at halftime. 71-65 to finish. 136 final total, stayed under the closing total by 1.5. And they had 77 at halftime. That was the reverse of betting first half unders as opposed to full game. And the second half was the nuts to the under. Siena couldn't score. I'm pretty high on this TCU team based on who they have defeated so far this year. I don't want to overreact to Duke's performance today, but...
Well, it reminds me of the year Wichita went to the Final Four. Gonzaga was a 1 seed. They were tied late with Southern in a 116.
That's right.
They almost lost the game. And it was all this what a joke. You embarrassed yourself. Come on, Gonzaga. And then everyone picked against them the next game. And they were game, but Wichita just played out of their minds. And Wichita beat them, and then Wichita kept winning. So it reminds me a little bit here of that scenario where people are going to say, don't overreact. Well, Siena was great. Duke struggled, whatever. It's the Florida State game. You covered, but got lucky against Clemson, okay. But I think TCU get 12.5 at DraftKings. I think it's a good look.
Yep, so do I. So now Vandy leads 74-65. They exchange baskets here. And we are talking 36 seconds left. The total closed here 148.5. How many times will McNeese foul here? Because again, the under has been looking phenomenal.
Probably one more time. One more. TCU 6-1 on the money line too.
Boy, that's.
This will be it. Sorry, this will be it.
If they miss here,
I think if they, that's tough.
You never know with these tournament teams, man.
I would call out. Down 11 with 30 seconds, I'd call off the dog.
This possession's massive now.
Kid could go rogue, too.
76-65, 30 to play. Again.
You're going to lay it in?
Are they going to give it to him? No, they went to 3 instead of the easy 2.
Oh, kiss!
He banks it in.
The kiss!
Now they're definitely going to foul.
Turnover.
They get a trap here.
Oh, I thought he turned it over.
Oh, boy.
How did he kiss it in from that angle? That was good. We got a great email. And we didn't have the volume, but guy said from the mentions market that he recalls the first time Raftery did onions double order was Sienna's win over Ohio State, and Raftery was on the Duke-Sienna game. He said he has to say it.
Oh,
yeah. How good is that?
Like,
that's a great email we got.
Oh, he was
FTM
on that
at
game.
VSiN.com.
I forgot to look if that was listed today.
Well, I thought it'd never be close. I'm like, that game's not going to be close. He's not going to bring out an onions in a 26-point spread.
Okay.
But less, crazy. They have the lead at the halftime and had the lead with 7 minutes left.
We have to ask the audience right now. You can tweet the show at VSiN Live at Mitch Moss Radio at Pauly Howard. I'm going to guess it's like 100% that he said it. Did Bill Raftery say onions today? He had to have.
Yes. The way Sienna was hitting difficult threes?
No doubt.
And the shots they were taking?
That 10-0, good observation, by the way, on that 10-0 run that they had.
Yeah.
And
when does that happen?
They had the lead for a majority of that contest.
Yeah. I don't blame, it's Caesars didn't want to put it up for that one. Okay, fine. But who would think that would happen? A 16 went on a 10-0 run.
Right. Yeah.
That wasn't odd because I looked at the other one with Florida, not offered against Prairie View.
Yeah.
Oh, this is hilarious. Prairie View on the money line, 60-1. Saints to win the Super Bowl, 50-1. What do you think? Huh?
Well, Florida's laying 35.5 for the game or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is going to be, I feel for those of you who are on the under of this game. Vandy's now going to go to the free throw line up by 8. It's 76-68. Closing total again, 148.5. And he makes the first.
I would be surprised, yeah. McNeese could lay it in, too.
Yep. Do they take the easy lay-in?
Yeah, it might.
It's like SMU last night in the final minute. They never wanted the easy lay-in. It was going to be there against Miami, but they wanted threes instead. Oh, this could be vicious. Second one is good as well. If they hit a three here, that's all she wrote.
You got to lay it in. Go right to the basket and lay it in.
Takes a three. Misses the three. Is there a foul?
No.
Ooh, okay.
That's all she wrote.
All she wrote. Oh, do not lay this in if you're Vandy.
And the coach said,
they're not even going to show it.
Yeah, he said, calm down.
Okay. So there you go. For those of you on the under, you're good. Whew, boy, that came out of nowhere.
Bracket. Who do they have?
How was that a sweat?
Vandy and Nebraska. We'll get another number here. Okay.
Vandy favored?
That's a good game. Yes.
Vandy's absolutely favored in the game.
Yes.
The question is how much.
All right. Well, good showing from McNeese. Yeah, you led by 10. Good showing.
Yeah.
Strong. Great season, though. Juice Reel links all your sportsbook accounts, imports your bets, and gives you automatic tracking and analytics, and it's completely free. In the app, everyone's bet history is synced directly from the books. No lying about profits. You're as good as your record says you are. Parcells, Juice Reel ranks every bettor. You can see exactly what the best bettors in the community have their money on. If you're the sharp, you get paid when others follow your picks and win. Download Juice Reel. It's free. Get it today. REEL, Juice Reel. The day of Capper's line are over. Get Juice Reel.
VSiN contributor Aaron Moore on the program coming up next. The professor, he has a great angle on a first half total coming up a little bit later on based on the history of this team in the tournament. Find out what that is next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. We're live in Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. This place is, as you can imagine, an absolute madhouse for the madness. Casino floor is absolutely packed. Biggest sports book in the entire world. Day one overall. What do you expect? Right now we head out to the progressive guest line as VSiN contributor Aaron Moore joins the program. Aaron, thanks for the time as always. Let's start with this. You have a good angle here with a first half total. It involves St. Mary's and Texas A&M, and you went back and looked at the history of St. Mary's games here with Randy Bennett. What did you find?
So it's interesting, Mitch, that we talk about this year in particular, so many first half unders. That's what we want to do, but really first half unders haven't been all that successful. But when it's Randy Bennett involved, I think you have to look at it from a situational aspect where he plays that slow, methodical offense and a very good defense. So the first half total with his team playing Texas A&M today is 67.5. So I went back and looked at recent first half totals where St. Mary's is playing a team that has a short turnaround to prepare for them, and it is consistently in the 50s. Last year it was 51. In 2024 it was 55. 23 it was 57.
Wow.
In 2022 they played Indiana. It was 68 points. So keep that in mind with the 67.5. In 2021, it was 59. In 2019, it was 58. In 2018, it was 62. So if you look at it from a tournament standpoint, it's difficult to place St. Mary's on a short turnaround. So I took the under here based on history, and I'll give you another situational factor to throw in there. St. Mary's hasn't played since March 9th. Texas A&M hasn't played since March 12th. So I think Buckyball is going to have a little bit of trouble getting that engine moving early on against Randy Bennett's St. Mary's defense.
This has become a popular talking point. Are you finding that books are adjusting first half unders?
Absolutely, Pauly. This was one of my go-to, was first half unders, all those things we talk about. Unfamiliar style of play, new arenas, early start times, all of those things used to be in our favors as first half unders or just game under bettors. The books have clearly adjusted. So if you're going to take this approach of blind betting unders, particularly first half unders, you got to realize the books have already beaten you in that race with that total. It is playing into this idea the public wants to bet unders.
Okay, how about a good point? How about an over? Texas and BYU coming up at 4:25 Pacific.
So here's one of the overs that I'm going to look at based on the public going under. So it's at 157.5 BYU in Texas. But if you look at Ken Pom, you look at Torvik, not that you can base everything on it, but those guys have this game in the mid 160s. So it is a considerable price down here with this BYU Texas total at 157.5. And I look at it, Texas has already played, so you think they have a little bit of momentum. And BYU is at their best when they're playing fast. And I just think it's one of those aspects here. I am going to play what I think is against the public. And as I said, you can't base everything on Ken Pom or Torvik or CBB Analytics. You can't base everything. But when the line is considerably different as it is, I'm going to take the over because, as we said, I think the public is really interested in unders during this tournament.
Yeah, and you have a player prop in this game that you like as well, right, Aaron?
Yeah, for the places, Mitch, where you can get player props for these games, I took Traymon Mack over 15.5 points. Now, we know he had the big shot to end that game against NC State, and what I liked about taking his player prop total of over 15.5 is Texas was a much different team in the second half against NC State when Mark got more involved in the offense. He's gone over 16. He's gotten 16 or more points in 4 of the last 5 games. Didn't get it against Ole Miss, who plays a very slow, methodical style. So if you expect a high-scoring game and you look at this for an angle of taking player props, well, Mark is like the second or third option there at Texas. So if it's a high-scoring game, if it's a fast game, I think that's where you can look at a player prop over in terms of points because you've got to believe there's going to be a lot of possessions in this BYU-Texas game.
In the betting guide, you wrote about you like Houston to go to the Elite Eight. Why'd you make the bet, and what do you like about Houston's draw?
Pauly, I took this as a future with a perspective or taking a stance on it. So I look at it where Houston is very likely going to play Illinois in the Sweet 16. And if I can get Houston now at plus 110, just think about if that matchup happens where you have Kelvin Sampson's defense, all the superlatives we're going to say about that defense going up against a great offense, a fantastic Illinois offense. But I think in this situation, we're going to bank on Kelvin Sampson. We're going to bank on his defense. So I'm going to look at it now. If I can, obviously I need that matchup to happen. But if I'll bank on it now, I can get Houston plus 110. And then if I like Illinois, come back with whatever amount of points they're going to get. and it gives you that middle option. And some of the things that I like to write about on the VSiN guides and VSiN.com, every future does not have to be a home run. It doesn't have to be a 20-1. It doesn't have to be a 50-1. Sometimes you use a future because you want to take a stance in a game and hopefully have multiple ways to monetize it as the tournament progresses.
So how about a big shot, though? You wrote about Acuff to go number 1 at a huge price. You have an interesting thought process on this, though, too, at the book.
Yeah, so if FanDuel, Pauly, is offering NBA first pick, I think they're really the only book that I could find. And we've talked about it the last couple of weeks. It was Peterson, and there was concerns, and then it became Debanza. Now Debanza is a minus 105 favorite. We talk about very, very likely it's going to be Debanza. But if you can get Darius Acuff 150-1, it's worth one of your pizza bets. It's really worth it with the idea the momentum is behind him. Arkansas keeps winning, which they're doing against Hawaii right now. It's more showcase time for Acuff. Perhaps that builds some more public interest, and there's some more betting at FanDuel on Acuff at 150-1. Clearly, at that number, it doesn't take a lot of money for them to have a liability in terms of Acuff. And one of the options, once again, that I often throw out there is if that 150-1 is reduced because of the liability, then perhaps there's a cash out option. And I would definitely consider that because, as I said, Debanza very likely should be the first pick. But why not take a chance on Acuff here? I think it's a pretty good opportunity to look at the tournament and play futures that always aren't related to the score.
It's a good look. By the way, at halftime, Arkansas leads Hawaii. Did they take the 3 back off the board? Oh, so they flipped it again. They flipped and flopped the whole time. They said now no good. So I got 54-36 again now, Arkansas. But Acuff has 13 points and 4 assists, and this team looks insane right now at halftime. Aaron, I want to throw a couple of numbers at you for Saturday's games. They just popped gut reaction here. Duke is laying 11.5 against TCU. What do you think of that?
After what I just saw and after everybody just saw against Siena, I would expect a lot of interest on TCU. And then I would be willing to take Duke maybe tomorrow night, early Saturday morning. I'm going to come back and go against the public. The narrative is going to be, look at what happened with these Duke injuries. All of a sudden, they're not the same team. So I think you're going to get a lot of TCU interest. I'll wait a day, and I'll come back at Duke. And I think they use this game as the proverbial wake-up call.
The other one is now posted as well. Vandy is 1.5 at DraftKings against Nebraska. Total 147.5. Anything there for you, Aaron?
I like Vandy in this situation. You look at that celebration Nebraska had after that game, winning the first game, Hoiberg with all the emotion. You might look at it as perhaps Nebraska reached their mountaintop. So at that short number, definitely interested in Vandy. They've looked much different of late. Very
good. Aaron, you're awesome at Pub Relation Prof on X as well. You do a great job here throughout the entire year with VSiN. A lot of your writing is dynamite with the guides, the March Media Guide, no exception. Thank you for the time. Good analysis, and best of luck tonight and this week.
Of course, guys. Good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
There you go. Aaron Moore was on the Progressive guest line.
All the money brought to you by Profit X. They're making March Madness about more than just your bracket. It's King of March, and there are free trips worth up to $10,000 on the line. All you have to do is win 10 pregame spreads or totals across the tourney's 67 games and hit your volume goal. Flights, hotels, your destination all covered, and you rack up another 10 wins and earn another entry. Sign up with code VSiNMM to compete to become the King of March, only on Profit X, code VSiNMM.
We're live in Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. Up next, I will share some nuggets from a person that is thought of as the best individual college basketball handicapper maybe ever. Al in Boston, listen to his podcast. He had some great takeaways. I'll tell you what he's thinking for these games coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money on VSiN.
Well, Hawaii is hitting Arkansas right now with at least a mini spurt. 3 minutes into the second half, there's a nice lane by Arkansas, but it's 60-47. So Hawaii here out of the gates with 11 quick points to begin. They had a nice dunk. They're 25-1 on the money line. In-play number is now 18.5 on the Hogs. I think Hawaii keeps. I think this number is going to be around the number pretty much the entire game. We have 15.5 in pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Big
Hawaii
total.
can. I think Hawaii can. It's 13 right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yep.
Break a blink.
You also like Vandy? I like Vandy.
I like Vandy. Yeah, I bet him minus 110 to make the Sweet 16 under this scenario.
Okay.
That they would be there and hopefully getting Troy. That was not the case. That was another team today. Troy was good for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But after that, it was all
I know.
Nebraska.
That was disappointing. These teams to go on a 10-0 run prop that's up on every game with the exception of the 1 and 16s. I think the cutoff is the Gonzaga game from a seed and a point. I think the point spread cutoff is like 20.5.
Okay.
Because they offered on the Gonzaga game Kennesaw State to go on a 10-0 run is plus 550. Gonzaga minus 220. Siena did do it to Duke. Incredible, right? The 16 went on a 10-0 run. Akron's
Hold on, because I have these. I can give you the numbers here.
Yeah.
Gonzaga is what, minus 2 something?
Minus 220.
Gonzaga was 1, 2, 3 tied for fourth in the country with 36 10-0 runs this year.
That is great.
I don't have it listed how many they gave up.
Okay. And then, for example, Bama and Hofstra. Bama's minus 115. Hofstra is plus 350.
Bama, I know I have all my numbers here, Pauly. Bama did not go on as many 10-0 runs as you would think. I wrote the list down all the way down to like 26 10-0 runs this year. Bama was not on the list.
Okay.
They did not make it. I think it was actually kind of a small number, smaller than you would imagine. I have it right here. It's 14.
Conceded, yeah.
Both Alabama and Hofstra went on 14 10-0 runs this year.
Okay.
For such a high-scoring, explosive team like Alabama, that's not a big number. And
Yeah.
Go ahead.
7 times Akron conceded a 10-0 run. Texas Tech is plus 120. Interesting. And what we mentioned earlier, too, with Aaron Moore, you can have action on just about anything in every minute. Will both teams score in the first minute? Will there be a point in the first 21 and a half seconds? And will there be 8 combined points in the first 2 minutes? That's all up there.
Mm-hmm.
And that cashed a juicy price in the North Dakota State game against Sparty. Both teams scored right off the bat.
Hawaii just missed back-to-back threes. One of them was in and out. Now they trail by 17. And here comes Acuff again on the run. Shot was blocked. And Hawaii will control now, coming up on 15 minutes to go. Here are the teams that had the most 10-0 runs throughout the year. I credit Evan Mayakawa, great website. He calls it a kill shot. Iowa State had 42 kill shots this year. 42!
Wow.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
So all these teams at the top are going to be like a big favorite to go on big runs, right? 10-0 runs. St. Louis and Houston each had 38. I think St. Louis would be a good candidate because that game's going to have 170 points, you would think. That's the total anyway. Maybe both teams will have a 10-0 run in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan had 37. They allowed 3. Keep that in mind as they advance in the tournament. Gonzaga, Illinois, Duke had 36. Arizona had 34. They only allowed 2. That is so impressive. Louisville, Virginia, low 30s, along with High Point, Georgia, and Florida at 31. So St. Louis had 38. Georgia had 31. They play each other. I wonder if you can parlay, will both teams have a 10-0 run? I think that could happen.
Okay. It's great. Kill shots.
Yep.
Good.
Purdue had 30. And then, let's see here. Total 10-0 runs conceded. Because A&M actually had 29 on offense. St. Mary's only conceded 4 different 10-0 runs throughout the year. I would bet the no on A&M. Like, no 10-0 run for that team against Randy Bennett and St. Mary's. Florida only allowed 5. Michigan State, Tennessee, Wright State, 6. And then the list goes on from there. You want the Boston notes now, or you want me to save it for the next hour?
Do it here and then repeat it later, because it's good. And he's got notes on several games. I'm against them in one game.
Yeah, I think most of the audience probably knows who Alan Boston is. Been betting college basketball professionally for decades now. Probably the best individual. He used to come on this network all the time. Paul, going back to local radio days here in Las Vegas, when's the first time you and I started to have him on? 20 years ago?
Uh-huh. I heard him on the Stardust line with John Kelly.
Oh, my God, was that good?
Yes.
Years ago.
2 hours. They'd scout. Maybe one commercial. That's it. They'd just go rapid fire college.
Yep. Quite honestly, we would love to have Boston on this show all the time during the college basketball season. There's one problem. He likes to swear too much.
Well,
and he knows this. We've told him before, like, Alan, you can't do that on live TV and radio. Just can't do it.
Hard network outs also.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
He'll go 10 minutes on a game.
So this is what he had to say. By the way, he did it all with Crackman at the Westgate this week. No notes. It's unreal.
Yeah.
He said this game's already over with, but I will tell you anyway, if Louisville, South Florida played 2 months ago, the Cardinals would have been 10. He doesn't think Ohio State's very good. He called TCU's best game elite. Dixon way better than Diebler. And he told the audience, if you can get 3 with TCU, you're completely stealing. TCU +3 all in, buy it. They won today outright. He did make Michigan State -13, said he thought it was a rock-solid number. They're blasting North Dakota State as we speak. Here's where you're on different sides. He pointed out that St. Louis completely fell apart. This game would have been minimum 3 a month ago in favor of the Billikens. He said the level they were playing at was completely unsustainable. Called Georgia not very good. All their good wins came in very good situations for them. He said that life and death with Georgia Tech was disgusting. Not only is St. Louis a better team, but Mike White's a moron. Josh Schertz is terrific. Total coaching mismatch. He thinks the game is borderline stealing. He's all in on St. Louis.
Okay.
He said that this is, I think it was maybe his favorite bet of the entire first round. This game's not until tomorrow.
They shouldn't get blown out, though. So it's not sustainable to start 24-1 and how well they were playing, but they were blasted at Mason. They were blasted at Dayton. They lost again in a revenge spot against Dayton in the A-10 tournament. Best of luck.
So one of his favorite games, maybe his favorite game, is tomorrow. And it's UCLA and Central Florida. He said that Auburn and San Diego State would be 5.5 against Central Florida. He said UCLA will kill them. They are not losing to Central Florida. Mm-hmm. It's a big bet for him on the Bruins in the game. He thinks Central Florida, he just was almost laughing at how disgusted he was at it there in the tournament.
Yeah, Selection Sunday, couldn't believe it.
Yep. He was big on Prairie View A&M. Mm-hmm. He made them favored over Lehigh. He made Virginia 13.5 against Wright State. That number was sitting out there 18.5 for days. 13.5. It's a big difference this time of year. He also said Utah State got screwed, should have been a 5 seed. What do you think of that?
7, probably. 7. The league was down. They were blown out by UNLV, swept by UNLV. No, I'd say 7. But I thought a 9 was wrong. So I'll meet him halfway on that.
One last thing. He said that...
But he's loved Utah State since I've known him in
that's true.
Go back to Morrill days. Stu Morrill.
He thinks Florida's the best team in the country.
Okay.
So much so. And I don't think Boston really bets futures that often. If I'm wrong on that, I apologize. But he bet him about a month ago 15-16 to 1 to win the national title. That's how much he likes the team. So anyway, take that for what it's worth.
Good notes.
Guy's awesome. And there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State 61-36 now over North Dakota State. This is never really a game.
No. This was like Troy, Nebraska. It's unfortunate.
Yep. Well, and that ties into
the first 5-10 minutes. That was 5-10. Yeah, 5 minutes. That was it.
And here you are, all those Big Ten numbers now over the last 3 years, and who's the team to disappoint? Wisconsin losing today outright to High Point. God, that is just...
Luke, let me know if you can grab the post game. The coach went crazy. Good for him. He went professional wrestling afterwards with the sideline reporter. They say we didn't play anybody. It's because nobody wants to play us. Ask Miami of Ohio. These kids don't give up. They're tough. And then they all came in and jumped on them. So what a performance by High Point. They were down 8 in that game.
I know.
For them to come back like that and then knocking down the threes and just not afraid, attacking the basket, helter-skelter, incredible win. Incredible performance. They finally won a tournament game. But you said it. They're no joke. That is, 15 wins in a row and 23 of 24.
Yeah.
What a resume.
I love how these mid-major coaches are now sticking up for each other.
Good for
He
them,
mentioned
right.
it there. Miami
Yeah.
last night, the coach there, Steele, rattled off like 4 teams. He's like, these teams are good teams. They happen to lose in their tournament. He's like, Wilmington's really good. They could win a game.
Yeah.
He called Belmont really, really good.
Yes.
He's like, clearly, we're a good basketball team. We're not done yet. So it's
They win by double digits. It's no fluke. They're up 10, yes.
Yeah, we'll get into the night session coming up. We do have North Carolina and VCU tipping in a little bit less than an hour. And I promise, I'll pay off this special basketball system that did start 3-1 on the play-in games coming up here on VSiN.